Good morning. Happy Friday. As you can see, I've figured why not just put Friday straight up on the screen so everyone knows that it's Friday. Maybe it can be Friday every day then. So good morning and welcome to our little Friday Live. I'm going to wait here for a moment for Lisa Kirby to join. Hello, hello. There we go. Now we're here. All right. We're going to pop on today and talk a little bit about our retreat that we just had last week in Cancun, Mexico, which was simply incredible. So, on one momentito. Here we go. Here we go. Hello, Andra Brown. Hello, Lisa.
Hello.
You got the Mexico flower in your hair. I'm digging it.
Oh yes, I'm channeling the energy from last week indefinitely.
As is hoped for with any retreat experience like that, for sure. Yeah. Yes. So, how would you like to start this morning?
I would love to pick your brain just so you can share with everybody else, because you've had experience at other retreats,
Mhm.
what that was like for you to attend, traditional retreats, and there's various types and kinds, and then why you wanted this to be different and what elements brought that difference in to make it stand out.
Yeah. So super, thank you. Super great questions. Um, well, I've been to a number of different retreats and different types of programs. So I was kind of mulling over it over this past year about how many different mentors I've had throughout my life. And I've been on salsa retreats. I've been on yoga retreats, quantum healing retreats. I've been to ashrams. I did Landmark, which was, I wouldn't really call that a retreat, but it was definitely a personal development experience over a period of time. And the thing that was cool about all those is that I could pull from the areas where I was like, wow, that's really powerful. I really enjoyed that, but it was missing something else. And so it's like, it's okay if it's a day, but no one would really want to do it for more than a day or two or three, So really kind of looking at how we can combine all of the elements of supporting our body in terms of movement and restoration and recovery and like playful movement, our mind in terms of really kind of having time for self-inquiry and exploration and doing that with other people in a collective experience. And then for our spiritual well-being, being around nature and having time to reflect and journal and meditate and move our bodies in a way that's more intentional. So we were able to do all of those things here, which was pretty incredible. And at Club Med, it made it very, very easy. So I want to give a shout out to those of you who have like, no, I'm not going to do Club Med. It's pretty fucking awesome. And for us to have a retreat there, what Lisa and I were talking about later is that Club Med already has this wonderful culture of a collective or like an extended family experience. And a lot of all-inclusive resorts are very much like you're a guest there and people treat you as if like you're a guest and you're never going to see them again. But at Club Med, my experience over the years since I was 13 was that they would really bring it into this family experience where not like you're bringing your family, but you create new families when you're there. So that was really the culture and the vibration was already apparent at that location. So that was one of the reasons we chose that. That kind of helped.
That's such a great call. And my lovely husband Chanley, he coined Club Med perfectly. Like it's a cruise ship on land. So you tons of activities, all kinds of restaurants and buffets, but the what you're speaking to of that collective community feeling that you see on the cruise ships is fostered at their resorts, which is so cool.
Hmm. Yeah. And I've actually never experienced that on a cruise ship. I've always kind of experienced that it's like a little bit, there's like still that separation.
Mm.
People don't go like, oh, hey, how was your, like, I saw you at this class yesterday. Like, how was that? Are you going to join this later today? Uh, so in that experience, and of course, I've had I've been to Club Med like 25 times in my life.
Okay, not
I've
your
had,
first rodeo.
I've had compounding experiences building this family. I'm still in contact with people that I met when I was like 16 that worked there or that didn't work there. And I just met while I was on vacation. So, but I think for us inside of this, and we could really see it and feel it, we had like this charge of our group, our community. And of course, we do this kind of schedule of supporting body, mind, spirit through nutrition, training, meditation, breath work, stretching, personal development, and sessions. Like we do this every week live in our community. But doing this in person with all of these members who are really like our soul family members now and have been was such an amazing thing. So we could actually feel what it feels like to stack the day in such a way where it allows for all of those experiences to be had. And also people were working while they were there. People were going back to their rooms, you know, getting their work on, loving all these hearts. Thank you. So it was, it is the structure and the example of what balance and an actual collective supportive community can look like, which I don't, which coming back into out of Club Med, out of our retreat experience, there's been little moments where I can feel the shift of how some people will integrate with others based on their environment. So what was really cool about the retreat experience is we were able to really see as people blossomed into this expression of themselves, and also a supportive experience of people really celebrating who each individual was and how they showed up in the week. Whereas when we're in our real life, I feel like there's a little bit more of even like undercutting of, you know, people cutting you off in traffic and flipping you off. I imagine that if it was our community members that were cutting each other off in traffic, we might do something like, oh, did you have somewhere you wanted to go? Do you need to poop? Maybe you need to poop. And you're going really quickly, like, hey man, just come on in. We would actually, and actually that poop joke is from Anastasia, by the way. It's just a little switch around of context, but taking that energy of really supporting our fellow humans and celebrating them for who they are in the world is, I feel, what the ultimate experience really was. But in order to have that experience, we have to feel good in our body. And so that was really kind of like felt like the foundation. And then from that, really allowing people to like just be really celebratory of each other, which is without judgment, with like, you like to do that? It's fucking great. Good for you. Hello,
Yes.
Joel.
I also appreciate just the opportunity to be, not that it has to be international, but just to get out of your physical space, which all of us have probably been desiring more so in the last 2 years than ever. But getting out of your routines, getting out of your physical space, getting in a new environment so you're less likely to kind of resort to some old beliefs and old habits. It just allows you, that's the beauty of travel. It allows you to fully expand if you're open to it, and like, I just picture, I love the Abraham Hicks analogy of like, if you're a cork in water and you have these like chains of baggage and old beliefs and limiting things that kind of keep you down, and we just kind of took one off one by one, and your cork will just float to the surface naturally.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I feel like happened by the end of the week. We're all just like, oh, we're just ourselves. We're not, you know, Lisa, the mother, Shannon, the owner of Green Door Life, you know, all the identities and roles that we play out at home. It
Mm-hmm.
was so much fun to just be.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. And just to really, like, that was part of our, so of course, people who are watching who were not there don't really know like the structure of our self-inquiry. But the whole context was to really kind of look at who we believe ourselves to be, what kind of conditionings have been placed upon us and that we've agreed to throughout the course of our life. Whether that is just anything, essentially anything that will ultimately change in terms of identity or expression of self. So sometimes we might be a student, right? And then we would move into a teacher. But each of those are an identity, and we kind of attach and then present ourselves as that identity, and then it is confirmed by people in our lives. So in order for us to experience ourselves as just pure essence, we kind of have to break those things down. So that's part of the unfolding that kind of happened inside of that, inside of like this curated self-inquiry experience, is like really looking at who are you, and then how do you show up in the world in terms of your full self-expression, and how does it serve others. Hello, Nicole. Yay. And then from there, you know, kind of looking at what do we need to release in order for us to feel that we can let that cork rise to the surface, so to speak. And then we did a really beautiful, it was a beautiful ceremony of, I almost feel like it needs a different word, of really committing to, we called it marriage to self, but really it was a collective commitment to this full expression of our own unique essence and how it shows up, and really honoring each person as that and for that, not as their identity, not as what they've done in the world, but actually who they are on a soul and cellular level. Hi, Nicole. So thank you for bringing that up, because that was probably, at least for myself, that was one of the most powerful elements of the experience. Yeah.
It really was. It felt like a wedding ceremony in a sense, in that I will personally remember that, and the emotion and the feeling for forever. I mean, that was just one of the most incredibly moving experiences of my life. It's just amazing. One other thing I've been reflecting on since we've been back, and then you get in your routines and we're cooking again, and that alone, not having to cook for a week, good Lord. We've been looking back at the Club Med app. We're like, okay, we can go down there this June. The kids are taken care of, super family friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying, we're looking into it.
Yep.
So
Yep.
now that we're back in the routines and, you know, in these more silo spaces, right?
Mm.
Something I've noticed a total contrast of last week to this week is how satiated I personally felt on every level. So like physically nourished and satiated from the amazing food, just having access to all different flavors and textures and getting to explore there. Then also like physically nourished and satiated from all the various movement opportunities we got to participate in, from yoga to salsa dancing to water aerobics, and of course strength training and metabolic conditioning, which is like a HIIT style training. Then also the social satiation. So enjoying amazing conversation over dinner, and then after dinner, you know, having that social connection that we don't get, you know, or I don't personally get in my regular life, but having that every night, like consecutively, and being able to connect with so many different types of people was so satiating. And then the spiritual satiation. So having that time and free space to connect to yourself and your highest self and the divine within you. What I noticed is, especially at night, it was like we were rolling into bed every night at like 11, you know, somewhere between 10 and midnight, but just like complete satiation, no cravings for anything else. Just like, I am completely satisfied. And being back here, I notice now at night, I'm like, I'm like, am I bored? Do I need to talk to someone? It's like one of those pieces are kind of lacking. So I thought that was a really interesting contrasting experience, and I'm already like, when can we do this again? Because it was so incredible.
So what do you feel might be the piece that's lacking?
Like, first and foremost is the social, the collective connection. And I, you know, as I live with Shanley, my husband, and two kids, two sons, 10 and 5, like we have that family time connection, but it's almost like we're missing, you know, that greater social connection. We don't have
Hmm.
established roots to where we are here in Austin. So yeah, that part for sure.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. And Blair was saying it was so energy giving for this introvert. Yeah, and we heard of that a lot from our introverts inside of the community. Like the first day I was like, this might be a little much. Like actually lovely. Um,
Oh, Nancy, I will totally take you up on that. Oh, I will call you for virtual mocktail or mezcal cheersing.
right. And I feel like, Lisa, this is what we've been talking about for a while. And Nancy, you're going to appreciate this, that we've been talking about, this whole like community and really moving into that state of community, like physically moving into a state of community, not within a city, but kind of building our own. So, and this is something that isn't new. There's so many different people on the planet now that are hearing the call to move back into more tribal living. And so I feel like it was just such a beautiful experience and reflection of what happens when we have all of these people who are in the support of each other in such a way, and then are continuing to reflect different reflections of each other inside of that experience. So it almost feels like that thing that is maybe missing is receiving the reflection of different parts of ourselves based on the unique energy of the others. Um, and
Ooh, I love that. That's so good. Yeah.
because that's how we get to know ourselves, right? In different
Mhm.
ways through reflection. I mean, all people are to us is how we are reflected back through them. So it's really a way to get to know ourselves in a new and cool way, sometimes not so cool, but whatever it is, to experience ourselves in a new way through different relationships.
Yeah.
Oh man, 10:01.
On the dot. So next up, we will be talking about our commune, just or retreat center to be.
That's right. That's a slash commune. So
Yeah.
you know, actually call it. We actually won't have an identity for it. We'll just let it be.
Yeah. It's the Green Door Life Center. Welcome.
It just is.
Yeah.
Yep. Experience. Yep. That's right. But I do know that we will have goats.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
And I'm nominating Blair to provide the goats. Okay.
Now taking applications. Tell us your zone of genius.
That's right. Yes. Building, agriculture, music, chefs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Absolutely. All right, lovelies. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Lise, for the question.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next Friday, probably, or even sooner if we see you inside the Green Door Life. All right.
Talk to you soon.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.